Okay.
Madam President, you want to open the meeting?
Oh, that would be me?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. So I am so sorry. This has been so long since I have done this. Yay! Welcome to Advanced Toastmasters Online, where we are coming together. I don't have my slides, so we'll just go with it, where we are advanced Toastmasters who are on the mission to support Maverick leaders in creating greater impact by providing advanced feedback on online presentations and leadership skills, and discovering what it means to be out-of-the-box leaders, out-of-the-box innovative leaders. And today, just a few little things for everyone. You all know how to do our Zoom meeting, so I won't go over that. And I'm going to hand the meeting over to our Toastmaster promptly so we can get started. Thank you, Rick, and please help me welcome Rick Weiner, our Toastmaster of the day.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. And you know, some of the best meetings I have attended are small groups, and having a group of just 4 of us fits right within that. Excuse me. Which it'll make today's meeting that much more enjoyable because it's very intimate. I will be taking on the role as Toastmaster and also a couple other roles. Lori will be the timer and the GE. Dawn and Aaron will be speaking and evaluating each other. So it's going to be a fun time. To go along with the different roles I'll be taking, I will take on the grammarian accountant role and also the word of the day, which will come up as scintillate. And the meaning of scintillate is to produce sparks or a sparkle to draw attention with liveliness and beauty. Fireworks are designed to scintillate and entertain. I challenge you to use the word scintillate. A little different, but it's not something unheard. With that thought in mind, we have the timer. I don't think any of us need the timer to describe her role. So I'd like to introduce our first speaker of the day, which is going to be Dawn. Dawn just returned from a European vacation with her family, where she found herself on a pilgrimage visiting many Black Madonnas. Today, she will share some research about the Black Madonna. Dawn, I'm loving the thought of listening to your speech. Please entertain us.
Thank you, Rick. And I will just preface this with, this is my research topic speech within the Toastmasters Level 1 of my coaching pathways. Still the words are coming. And so I'm going to share my screen. Let's see if I can do this. I can remember. And can you see that?
Yes.
Yes, I can.
Black Madonna. Okay. I'm going to move her over so I can still see her. All right. So when I sat down on when I sat down to prepare this presentation on researching the Black Madonna, I had no idea that it would be as overwhelming as it was to just come up with a few facts about the Black Madonna to share with you, because as mentioned in my introduction, I found myself on a pilgrimage visiting many Black Madonnas. And why is that even, why would there be a pilgrimage? You'd think maybe they're all over the place, maybe they're not. Well, there's about 450 Black Madonnas in all of the world. And I'm going to share with you today, oops, that is not the slide, sorry. I'm going to share with you today where she is, where you can find her, what qualifies a Black Madonna as being a certified Black Madonna or uncertified Black Madonna, and some of the different viewpoints about who she is, where she came from, and why is she this image, why is it that people like myself find ourselves attracted to this Black Madonna and finding ourselves on pilgrimage to find more. Yeah, so I didn't realize that I was on a pilgrimage until I found myself searching for Black Madonnas in all the cities that we went to. And I will give you a little brief of where we went. We went to Budapest, then we traveled to Vienna, then to Venice, and then to the Pompeii area, Sorrento coast, where I found one of them at Positano on a boat ride. I got to her through a boat, and then back up to Rome. So in all of those places that I visited, there was a Black Madonna in the city. But there's, like I said, there's only around 450 Black Madonnas in all of the world. So if you could imagine how many cities there are, that, you know, the odds of them being everywhere that I traveled, it's pretty low. So kind of a brief, like, get to know her as the Black Madonna, you almost have to know who the White Madonna is. And so the White Madonna is just the picture of the Virgin Mother holding baby Jesus, and people throughout history were worshiping her, or not worshiping her, venerating her. So like just standing in front of her and praying, I guess. So maybe that's a little bit of worship, but they call it veneration. And even before Jesus was born, there was a figure of a woman that people would go to for help with fertility and help with mothering and nurturing and anything that they felt that they needed from a female presence. So when the church realized that people were painting, this was early times, people were painting the Madonna figure, and they were really interested in the mother of Jesus, also maybe even more so than they were interested in the story of Jesus. They created, in about 400 and something, I can't remember, there was a council, and they decided that they would make her a legitimate part of the church, which means the White Madonna. And as a White Madonna, they made her represent the purity of the Catholic Church. They made her represent the church doctrine. So she was all about, the White Madonna was all about hierarchy and listening to the church and paying attention to those, to the church's directives and whatever was coming out of the church at the time. And this is from my research. So I'm still in the process of going through this. So I may have some of these facts a little, they might, well, let's say, they might go against other people's beliefs. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to share what I have discovered through some research and some reading and some experiences. So the Black Madonna came out of when I didn't see this yet, but I have 3 books I'm yet to read that with the White Madonna representing the hierarchy of the church, people started to understand that their religion and their faith wasn't necessarily, they couldn't be contained by a hierarchy. So for sure we know that the Black Madonna represents a going against hierarchy, violence, going against violence, and any destruction of the earth, and any form of of abuse towards women. So she really represents nurturing all people, regardless of color, religion, faith, or even circumstances. So some people call her the Madonna of the poor, but really she's the Madonna of the people, not just of the church. So let me see where I am. I'm at yellow already. Okay. Through my travels, well, here's a little something that I'll share with you that I found in a book. This is a song, part of the Song of Solomon, and it says, "Yes, I am black and radiant, O city of women watching me, as black as Keter's goat hair tents or Solomon's fine tapestries." And this comes from the Song of Songs. And there are some people that believe that this song is from or worshiping a black woman. And it could have been, I guess it's the Queen of Sheba that some people think of it as, or the land, or Mother Earth. So, I think that's a little bit, who is she? Where can you find her? You can kind of find her anywhere where there used to be, before pre-Christian, where there used to be places where they worshipped Isis and some of the mythical goddesses throughout time, or they might not have been mythical to those people, but they were places where old temples were, kind of pre the single god. And definitely in places where they have a deep, rich history of women as being a powerful force. And also with that, there's also, in one of the books I found, there's about her in Italy, the Black Madonna in Italy. They are typically found in places where the female has been really strong, and then there's been male hierarchy that comes in and tries to, this is the theory of this book, that comes in and tries to quiet the woman, and where she goes into hiding. And so the powerful woman hides out as the Black Madonna. And this picture right here, I'm just going to say, well, the other question is, what does she do? This Black Madonna is a image of one in Poland, and which I have not seen yet. It's one that I would like to see. And she has this scar on her face. I'm not sure if you can see that scar on her right face. And they have tried to painting over that scar, and they've also tried painting her different colors, and she turns, the scar always shows itself through the painting, and the paint doesn't quite get painted over to lighten her. But they definitely have painted many of these Black Madonnas white. They've whitewashed them to hide the fact that she's Black, and she's painted Black. And there are a couple of different theories on why she is Black. And some people, the Catholic Church, if you ask some of the people, I've looked this up on the Catholic questions or answers.com, which is a very Catholic viewpoint. They say that she's been turned Black through being rescued from fire. So like if there's a painting of a Madonna, that she appears Black because of the fire damage. I'm going to go back to slide number 1. This is a picture that I took, if you can see that image. I took that picture myself, and that was in Budapest at a very large cathedral, and she was hiding out in a little corner, or I was able to spend 20 minutes with her, and she's definitely not damaged at all by any smoke or fire, but she was carved out of some type of wood. And I am going to continue to, I didn't finish that slide. I'm going to continue to research the Black Madonna because she's fascinating, and I find myself really wanting to find out where she is more on the planet, and what are some of her meanings and what does she mean to the people around where she is found. And with that, I will say just an invitation to maybe get to know just something else to see in the world when you're traveling. Maybe you can see where there might be a Black Madonna and see for yourself how that experience is when you are looking for her. And with that, back to you, Rick.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dawn.
Thanks.
That was a bit of an education for us, and I enjoyed listening to your story. So your research. Thank you very much. And Aaron, if you can unmute yourself. Our second speaker is going to be Aaron, and his title of his speech is DTM Yet. It's level 3, connect with storytelling. Aaron, you're up. Please unmute.
Can't hear you yet.
Oh, great. Sorry, I was on another TM call. But hi. Have you introduced me already? You had, right? So welcome to the topic about DTM Yet. Well, this topic actually comes up recently, and I was thinking about, is there a speech that I have to redo? When I say redo, meaning that after I've done and completed all 11 parts, I'm thinking about refining anything that I've done badly and then just renovate it. And there comes a point whereby it's fitting the whole schedule of motivational strategy, because the main purpose of the speech is to motivate people. Now, the story backtracks 2 years ago when I was losing out the division director and I actually wanted to go for my DTM. For anyone who doesn't know DTM, which I presume everyone knows here, is called Distinguished Toastmasters, otherwise for me known as Don't Touch Me. But the thing is that alongside, I was thinking about, what can I do to get this DTM? I was so mad. I was so involved in that. I spent 2 years of hard work doing everything that Toastmasters can offer just to get that DTM. But every year it slowly fails time and again and again, until I really on the verge of falling off the cliff. And then suddenly there was hope. There was a hope that when I was doing online webinars around the world, there are some districts that actually considered me as one of the area directors as a backup. I was really, really glad that there are saviors. In life, we are all troubled by the problems just in front of us, but we never know that the good deeds that we do on our path might attract people who would look after you. And this is one situation that I would like to share today. So different districts actually sent me an offer about area director positions. I sent all the applications to everyone. And then there comes a problem for me. I literally forgot about the time conversion rate, meaning they are meeting the interview at a specific time, and it was around 4 a.m. at my time. The first area director interview, I failed because I totally didn't turn up. The second area director interview was in Australia. Interviewed, passed, looking for good news. The third one is in Japan. Sent, got that offer, and then I thought it was happy. But in the end, for that third offer, it was actually rivaled against with my good friend of mine who was actually wanting to get her DTM too. So because of the friendship, I have to give it up. So third one, gone. The fourth one is in Taiwan, District 67. I was actually applying for it. Then the thing is comes the stupidest idea that comes into my mind. It means that I have to fly over to Taiwan and come back to Hong Kong, fly over there, come back occasionally as an area director. Who on earth would be crazy for that area director role? I thought I would have gone for it, but I didn't. I told them just take that area director role, although they are the closest city ever. So finally, my club growth director in our district was very sympathetic about my situation. I won the district contest in table topics as second place, and she was very impressed by my performance. She said, "Look, Aaron, I'm going to give you a chance. I'm going to give you an area director role, but I will talk with the district chairs to see whether that's possible, because area directors are appointed by the district, or the divisions nominate, and then still the district director nominates and finalize it." So I got it. I actually literally cried at the conference, which was unlike me. So there I got a glimpse of hope that after 10 years, finally I managed to get something. But then she gave me an additional option, being a club coach. Club coach has district officer credit this year, which allows me to get this DTM. And I was like, wow, I managed to save the club. That means that I have a potential DTM there. So by this very day, August 8th, I can apply for my DTM, traditional or the pathways DTM. Now, there are two questions. One, when I'm reaching this stage of actually getting that DTM, I suddenly wanted to let it go. Okay, you might find it very strange. I spent 2 years to fight for my life, end up in hospitals just for Toastmasters, and I'm getting that award, but I don't want to get it. I just don't understand why. I question myself, why? You won this award for so long. And then suddenly a pure spirit Aaron comes up and float in the air, told me that this is not your intention. Even if you get your DTM, doesn't mean that people still recognize your efforts if they don't recognize it. My original intention of getting a DTM is really for the sake of, one, I do not want to miss out anything because I spent so much hard work on that. Two, is that with DTM position, I can help a lot of Toastmasters in even deeper depth with that title. But then I endlessly go for a DTM because of my own personal achievements. I forgot the most basic fundamental thing, that what keeps me in Toastmasters. Just like right now, sharing stories, telling, meeting new friends, networking, instead of all the awards there. I start to have a reflective journey. The Aaron that was so aggressive just for the awards has turned into someone that is literally like a monk. You have all these worldly desires, but suddenly you becomes a vegetarian. That was that dilemma there. And then I start to reflect. I have actually harmed people in the way because of whatever I want to achieve for the DTM. When I say harm people, meaning that I expose scams, I know that there are politics, but then there are different ways in Toastmasters that taught us how to communicate. Are we all set on one goal and we lose our surroundings? Our surroundings of people that care about you, and because of your own goal, you hurt them indirectly, that cause communication failures. That is the journey of my DTM. It's not just as a distinguished Toastmasters. It's do it mandatorily. It's like you decide your own fate. You do not go for just a goal and hurt people. You should be staying calm and focused. What is your original purpose? So fellow Toastmasters, are you aiming for your goals in your life that you lose track of your surroundings? If you do, sit, reflect, and find a new solution to that. Back to you.
Thank you, Aaron. What a journey. I remember listening to you in the past talk about how much you were yearning to earn the DTM, and you found a way to make it work, and congratulations for that. And it sounds like the journey was a lot more than just checking off the boxes for you. It was a true learning process. And I commend you for that. Excellent job, Aaron. Excellent job. Now, it's time for some table topics. And I suppose I'll take on the topic master role. So my first topic, I'm going to tie it a little bit into Don's speech. And where that's going to go is powerful women. Do you consider yourself a powerful person? What does powerful mean to you? Does it mean being in charge? Being creative? What does it mean to you, Lori? Unmute yourself, please.
I knew that was coming my way. Fellow Toastmasters. Well, being a powerful woman is basically who I am at my core. And I haven't always been a powerful woman. I was actually very meek and insecure as a child and a teenager. And it wasn't until I've always been someone about fighting for my rights and other people's rights around me, but the way I went about it was not in a powerful way. And my first husband loved that I was somewhat submissive. And when I started to change, he used to say he wants the old Lori back, and I told him she was gone. I took an assertiveness training workshop in my early 20s, and it transformed my life. I learned the difference between being assertive and submissive and aggressive. And I used to flip-flop between submissive and aggressive. And what I learned in that workshop was just how to speak my truth, go after what I want, but in a way that isn't hurtful to others. And that was the beginning, the very beginning of my journey becoming a powerful woman. However, maybe I'm not giving myself enough credit, because that happened after I had my first home birth. Having a home birth, that was the beginning of my journey of being a powerful woman. Choosing to have a home birth and then going through that experience of seeing how strong I am, seeing how when I think I have absolutely no more strength left, that I can summon up some inner power and just summon up some more endurance and just make it work. So to me, being a powerful woman is confronting a situation and figuring out how to do it however I can. Basically, there is no can't in my vocabulary. It's how can I? Mr. Toastmaster. Rick, you're on mute.
I guess I was on mute. Thank
But
you.
I could hear you through the stairway.
Oh, okay. My next question. I thought it was quite fascinating about Madonna being black and the early side of things. Is it possible that the reason why it was a black Madonna and not white to teach us that we're all the same, we're all equal, black and white, there's no difference in there? I don't know. I would really love to hear Dawn's educated opinion as she scintillates us with her table topic.
Ooh, thank you, Mr. Table Topic Master. I am somehow, hold on. I think I may have pinned you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Very interesting. So it's not picking up my screen here. Okay. So yes, I do think that the Black Madonna could possibly be black because she is symbolizing that we're all the same. I absolutely think that that is a part of her, at least her mythology, right? It's a part of her connecting with people. And because she's black, she actually has an ability to connect with people who are just looking for somebody who looks something like them, or who resonates with some part of who she is. And the educated part of that also is that she actually came from Africa. Like they began to bring her up like straight through Africa. So typically she would have been a Black woman. And if you know history, she may have had much darker skin. The real Mary may have had very dark skin and had been whitewashed. So yes, and back to you.
Thank you, Dawn. I would love to have a deeper discussion about that with you at some point, but that would be offline, not as Toastmasters. My third question, obviously there's 4 of us, so the Baron doesn't realize it's for him. We got a problem here. Mr. Distinguished Toastmaster, even though that is not officially your title yet, I'd love to hear a little bit more about your Toastmaster journey. It's been a long one for you, and spend 1 to 2 minutes telling us about what the highlights of your journey have been. Aaron. I think he may have gone.
You mean the highlights of my Toastmaster journey?
Yes. Are you there? Do, 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 do,
It's on
do.
mute.
You there, Aaron?
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
So, highlights of my Toastmaster journey. Ladies and gentlemen, fellow Toastmasters, the highlights are also my lowlights. When I say lowlights, it means that my eyes are sanitating with gleams of hope. It's just like a journey of a man-made society. In Toastmasters, I learned how to love people. By sharing wisdom, by helping others, I can see that there are people caring for people who are in need. I love. I also hate. When I say hate, it's a strong word, but hate people that makes me grow stronger. I do hate people who've actually caused me so much troubles and wasted 3 years of my youth that I can spend on girls or guys. Oh no, girls, sorry, my bad. But the thing is that this situation allows me to learn and realize what I can do better. I definitely want to make more friends. And throughout this journey of doing pathways, constantly visiting different clubs, through this 11 paths, I visited over 300 different clubs. And this 300 different clubs allows me to build the bond of friendship. And this friendship allows me to gain wisdom, because the more I talk, the more stories I can actually learn from, and I can bring it to my life, how I can use it and implement it. Every time I fall, I realize that there's a big hole in front of me, but I start to make this hole smaller and smaller so that I can actually go over it. So achievements-wise, I've gotten a lot. From a very, very shy person, timid, doesn't like to share story because he doesn't trust the world, to someone that will love to share stories, help others, and also keep persevering that no matter how hard the world is making you, you are like a stone, unmovable. Only you can stop yourself. Only you can decide your own fate. Only you determine whether you are happy on your own state and achieve greatness, because you decided, not the others. So these are my highlights for my Toastmaster journey. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Aaron. At this time, I'd like to turn the meeting over to our general evaluator, Lori. But before I do, Lori, there is something I need to tell you. I do have the role as the counter and all that, but I need to leave the meeting for a few minutes to go to a room down the hall. So
Okay.
I shall return.
Fellow Toastmasters, it's my honor to serve as your general evaluator today. The first part the first part of the general evaluation section will be hearing from our speech evaluators, who we're doing in a round robin fashion today. So Aaron, you are the evaluator for Dawn's speech. Please share your evaluation comments with us.
Well, when I was first hearing Dawn's speech on this Madonna situation, I was like, what are you going to talk about? I have no idea. Simply, that is a literal truth. It pops up in my mind. Slowly and steadily, I start to see the gist of what her story is about. Everyone actually get to understand it. And I feel that her way of speaking style has improved tremendously throughout the years I've known her. When I say years, meaning 1.5 years. The pauses, the stability, it makes her that professional. It just makes us feel that that I'm listening to a keynote speech indirectly. Now, obviously, I'm going to leave more time to say improvement because that's actually where the main jewel lies in. The first point is overtime, desperately overtimed. The reason why is very simple. I believe that Dawn didn't manage to notice the timer cards on the side hand or pinned that video of Laurie in the screen so that it will keep track of reminding her time. So that is one major flaw. In any keynote speech, we have to keep along with the time. I know the time is of essence. This is actually something that will actually affect the overall performance. Two, I think that Dawn doubt herself. I never seen Dawn doubt herself in her speech. When I say doubt, meaning that when she was saying, her tone actually changed to a way that it
Looks like we lost Aaron. He's hung. Aaron, is there a way to like flip your network connection or something? You're frozen in time.
But he's cute.
That's a good picture of him.
Well, maybe we should move on.
Oh, he just popped out.
And he won't hear your evaluation. Maybe we'll do some evaluation report until Aaron comes back. I'm assuming he's going to come back and reconnect. What do you think?
I think you know the meaning of the word assume.
All right, we will. Dawn, do you want to deliver the evaluation because Aaron can listen to the recording?
So maybe we could do a round robin for me and then give him a couple more minutes.
Oh, that's a very good idea. You're right. I forgot about the round robin. Rick, you didn't have the benefit of hearing what Aaron had to say. I'll let you think for a moment. I have some feedback for Dawn's speech that I can share. I don't know, Dawn, if you noticed me holding the timing cards. I think you did. I think you saw, oh, there's yellow already or something like that. So your speech was 5 to 7 minutes and it was almost 12. So that's something to pay attention to. One of the things I wanted to suggest was sometimes we need to introduce background information so people understand the context. And I appreciated how Dawn's provided some background information on a white Madonna, but I think the amount of time that was spent on that background information was so lengthy that it took away from the time, leaving enough time for the the true topic of her speech being the Black Madonna. So figure out a way to laser the background information to give us enough context, which I thought was a really smart thing to do and a good technique, but to just do it in 1 minute rather than taking 3 or 4 minutes to give us the background information. I thought that Dawn did a good job in using slides and also speaking to the audience, and it was very easy to understand her, and it was a very informative and interesting speech. Rick, do you have anything to share for feedback for Dawn?
I do, as a matter of fact. I really enjoyed Dawn's speech. The reason why I enjoyed that speech is, for one thing, it was something that was very close to her heart. It seems the fact that she did a lot of research on the Black Madonna and really spent the time to experience the energy of the Madonna when she was traveling, and all the other facts that were brought out were very touching to me. I really enjoyed the speech. Rooms for improvement. I think that part of our counter report would be rooms for improvement. For example, and I will give this right now, is there were 2 ahs, but more than 5 ums, more than 5 ands, more than 5 repeats, and more than 5 so's. The speech could really improve, I think, if we paid a little bit more attention to those filler words and the timing. I would like to see that speech, rather than be billed as a 5 to 7 minute speech, been billed as a 10 to 15 minute speech, so that we could just let go of time and listen to everything that she had to say. When you go on a journey, as Dawn did, there's so much more to be said than what you're going to fit in a 5 to 7 minute speech. My suggestion would be asking for more time from the beginning, watching those filler words, and really enjoying delivering the speech rather than feeling that I have to get through this. Enjoy the delivery and tell us the story. A lot more history could have been given, a lot more information could have been given. I know that through some of my studies, and it was beautifully done. And I did enjoy the graphics as well, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Rick. Seemed like that was good feedback for Dawn. Dawn, do you just want to share just a little bit about Erin's speech, or do you want to hear some of the things that we might have to say that you can add to your written are you doing a written evaluation?
I will if he asks for one, yes. So I think I'd like to share just like my very brief feedback on his speech, and then he can watch this if he wants to. I enjoyed hearing his hero's journey through Toastmasters, and that from somebody who's been in it with him and experienced his energy through the whole thing. It was a pleasure to hear him kind of come to terms with what was going on and to be reflective and self-aware enough to give that speech from a completely different place than he's ever given a speech before. That was my experience of the speech. He does a good job with weaving a story into his speeches. And I wrote down something I thought was kind of interesting that he has. I was going to ask him, maybe if he watches this, if he still considers himself a toastaholic, or would he call himself now a toast monkster instead of a Toastmaster? Because I thought, being both of those, he needs a title. And he likes titles. And I think that gives him a piece of that recognition that he still is looking for, even though I think, and I felt it was believable that he's come to terms. I think that's what I wanted to point out. It was a believable story. It wasn't like searching for something to try to make it something. It was a real believable story about how he came to terms with his original intent. I think he called it his original purpose for even joining Toastmasters to begin with, and a really good motivational element for us to get back into our, like, what was our original intent? Am I still, has that shifted, or am I true to that? And in general, I thought that was a really good speech, organized. But yes, and that's all. So hopefully he gets to watch the recording and get some out of that. And I would love to know, oh, there he is, Aaron, back in here. We're in the process, Aaron, I don't know if you can hear us, of doing the round robin portion of your evaluation. So hold on. Lori, would you like to share your round robin piece for Aaron's speech?
I really enjoyed Aaron's speech, and I thought it was profound to hear him share about some of his insights of how his purpose has changed. A couple of suggestions I have for Aaron, or actually really one suggestion. Aaron has great vocal variety and gets the attention of his audience, but in our use of Zoom, I don't think Aaron's aware of how often his hands are flashing so fast in front of his face. I can't even mimic it. His hands go so quickly in front of his face. So to find a way to use hand gestures on the sides rather than across the front of his face would be one suggestion that I have for Aaron. He used the phrase DTM, don't touch me. I think of it as don't tie me. And I think that Dawn, as a new DTM, discovered that today. Don't tie me, I'm gonna finish my speech.
So sorry.
Back to you, Dawn.
Big apologies for that.
No. I'm saying it with humor.
I wore my DTM with pride today. Rick, would you like to give your 2 cents on Aaron's speech?
Absolutely. DTM also has other meanings, such as Mazel, our dog, wears DTM, Doggy Toastmaster. Mm-hmm. And I spoke to Dan Rex about making that official. Aaron's speech, I was really touched by it. And I think what I was touched by the most was his humanity and what he had gone through to achieve this level of recognition, and that once he's finally achieved it, how unimportant it is to put in the application for it because of what he learned through the process. So his humanity that was brought out in today's speech gave me a whole different appreciation for him as a human being. And it would make me feel proud to bump into him at a Toastmasters conference, maybe next year in Paris, and to connect as friends and have a coffee together. His read already? Okay, I guess I'm done.
It's for our whole
round robin.
Okay.
Thank you, Rick, for your contribution to the overall evaluation. Now I can call for reports. Can you give us a scintillating report about grammarian and counter today?
Well, the word scintillate up until now was used only by me. If Lori gets credit for putting it in there, then we both get it.
I sure do.
Okay, well, I'll buy you a cup of hot chocolate later on. As far as that goes, I already gave Dawn's report on the ahs and ums. Aaron had 1 so. Lori was clean, and of course I was perfect, although I did catch myself in saying a couple of things. But I'll put that aside. That's my report.
All right, thank you, Rick. For timing the report, Dawn's speech was 5 to 7 minute speech, and she came in at 11 minutes and 54 seconds. Aaron's speech, also 5 to 7 minutes, came in at 7 minutes and 43 seconds. For table topics, my topic went 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Dawn, 1 minute and 39 seconds. And Aaron, 2 minutes and 29 seconds. And for evaluations,
One for Lori.
we stayed within the time frame for evaluations. We're running really close to the end of the meeting. I just wanted to say for some comments that as experienced Toastmasters, we did a great job pulling together, having a Toastmaster, a Topics Master, filling the roles with a small number of people. We're small in number and very mighty in our Toastmasters experience. Great job. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. I would like to address Dawn with one thought I have. Her speech was, Dawn, your speech could be a very powerful speech and a very educational speech. I would challenge you to take that speech and write a 1-hour keynote. That could be a very interesting topic for the right group as a keynote speech.
Even for a Toastmasters conference, I think that's a good idea, Rick.
It could touch, especially in today's times where we have all this turmoil going on in society. You could really touch a lot of people with that speech and what the learnings are from it. So that's just a suggestion, and I know you can do it, Don. With that said, I'll turn the meeting back over to our president. Oh yes, that's Don.
Thank you. I don't know if anyone has to leave, but I'm looking at the.
Let's stop recording.
Thank you. Thanks. I so appreciate you.